As always.
As always.
As always. Hey, so I told you before I renovated my house, my kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So we bought an oven that also has like 900 different settings on it. Like apparently it's a slow cooker, it's a steamer, I don't know, whatever. It's also an air fryer. So I
Oh,
thought, you know
nice.
what? I don't have an air fryer. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to do. I like to do, John. I like to do try up different things when I'm cooking. So I thought I'm going to try.
Yeah.
I tested out a couple of pieces of chicken thighs, right? Bone in, skin on, in the air fryer today to see how it worked. And it worked fantastic. I was like, great.
Oh, from
So
raw?
then,
Like
right.
like raw,
What?
raw? Like raw
Yeah, raw
chicken?
chicken. Yeah, I
Okay.
put
Yeah.
it on the thing, air fried it, 420 minutes, boom, done. And I was like, okay, that was my 2 test chickens. I crushed one like really quickly, and then I was like, all right, great. So now I know what I'm going to do for dinner. But
Yeah.
then the prep work to do everything else threw me right off. So, anyways, didn't eat dinner for work. But here's the thing: I did like 11 pieces of chicken, right? The
Like a
mess,
KFC bucket, a full
yes,
KFC bucket.
the mess that it left afterwards in the oven that I was like scrubbing and wiping down and cleaning and everything
Yeah.
else, not worth it.
Oh, can you not change it to like a microwave setting after and just put like the bowl of water or something like that?
Yeah, I can. I can do like a steam clean. So I can put
Yeah.
I got a pan of water at the bottom and steam clean the whole thing. That's another function I haven't used yet. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to wipe it all down because it's driving me crazy, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, all this to say is that it was a great experiment. I don't know if I'll ever use the air fryer function again. Maybe for like wings, right? Maybe for things that might not splatter everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I usually use it to like reheat. Like I've got like I don't know if it's as good as a pure air fryer. So you've got a combination machine. A lot of people talk about combination machines, but you've seen those ones. It's a cylinder and it's got a cap and all that stuff, and that's called an air fryer. I feel like that's the proper air fryer. So I've got a combo machine like you. It's a toaster oven, it's an oven, it's a broiler, it's an air fryer. So I usually just heat up my if you get chicken or you have leftover chicken or whatever, I usually throw it in there, and then like fries and stuff, you kind of heat it back up. It seems to work well that way. I'm always scared to cook like the raw meat in there because maybe the fat explodes and goes everywhere, right?
Yeah, you know what? I think like fries would probably be really good, or anything that's not going to cause a lot of mess, right? So,
yeah. My brother was an early adopter, and he used to post like certain recipes because no one was really doing it yet. He would be able to post like air fryer recipes. And it did pretty well for him. So you can probably find those online. But yeah, all right. So you'd rather call up KFC delivery?
I'll just go back to using the barbecue.
Yeah. Barbecue, put the sauce on, everything like that. You guys let us know in the comments. Would you prefer a traditionally barbecued, chicken wings, chicken thighs, whatever? Or are you okay with your air fryer oven baked kind of stuff?
I think like if you have a dedicated air fryer, that's one thing, right? But like,
I think if you have that proper one that I was talking about, it's like almost like a bucket or something like that. It like seals. Lewis says air fryer. He says it's good for quick snacks, chicken and fries. So you wouldn't cook like your full out dinner from scratch. So maybe not good for scratch up. I don't know. Maybe we're just not using it right, Rob. Maybe you need to level up your air frying skills. All right. What's up? Sorry, the Facebook users. We're not going to see your name. I don't know how to get that fixed. I think you got to sign in or something like that. But yeah, air fryer. Let's go. We're opening up with air fryer talk because we two dads just trying to make it in the world today.
We're just trying to make dinner for our families
with everything we got,
and they don't really appreciate it, right? And then they fuck off and they're doing stuff, and then we have to like clean it all up. So,
Oh, Fraser use it for finger foods and breakfast sausage. Huh. I'll have to try that out. What's up, Jess? Air fryer. I don't know if you say you're rocking with the air fryer or you're laughing at us for using air fryers because
we old.
Yeah, it seems I think it seems like kind of. Do you think it seems lame to use the air fryer? Is it more cool to deep fry, like have a hardcore deep fryer, all that oil, all that fat, and be like, yo, damn your
I
health.
don't want that. That just it sounds to me like that just sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It's a recipe for having to use the bathroom often that night. But
There you
anyways, welcome, folks. Thank you for joining us. It is Sunday, October 22nd. Holy crap, where'd October go? And you are watching the Sidekick Show with my beautiful, lovely blue sweatered. Am I pointing the right way now? According to this,
You are.
You guys
You
let me
are.
know. Yeah,
It's
blue,
more
baby
coral.
blue sweatered or powder blue. Would you call it like powder blue?
No, it's like you can't. It doesn't translate on. It's coral. It's like a coral color.
Coral blue. All right. Okay, if you say so, but the blue with the pink or whatever that is there.
Yeah, Ron John surf
It's choice. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. That's a good looking sweater. Don't fall out of your chair. I can't tell what that is.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I bought this sweater when I went to Disney at Disney Springs. They had a Ron John surf shop there, and I really like the cut. I really like the feel. It's not teal. I like everything about it.
It might look teal on the screen.
Yeah, sure. And so I thought to myself, hey, self, I'm going to maybe see if I can get some of these and as a good Christmas gift, like somebody wants to get them for me, right? Like, John, if you want to buy me one, go ahead.
All right, cool.
Here's the thing. They don't sell Ron John. There's no store up in Canada that sells it. So you actually have to buy it in the US and have it shipped up here. So, but I will do that.
There's lots of ways to cheat US shipping, folks. If you haven't used Shipsy, let me know. I can give you the code and we can both get like a $10 credit. So
John
shout outs to that.
Work off of us. He wants to benefit off of our sales. Speaking of sweaters, John, fairly certain that our comic shop of the New Millennium Heroes World has a sweater, a hoodie.
Yeah. So we've got the limited edition. I don't know what we've actually titled it. Comic Club hoodie. Inspired by, so we don't get sued or anything. Inspired by Andre's appearance in Miss Marvel #1. So if you guys haven't ordered that, pop over to the website. You'll see it there. It's a beautiful red premium hoodie with the logo as appearing in tribute to that Miss Marvel issue, and then another patch on the side that's going to be embroidered. So it's going to be really cool. It's going to be pretty limited. I think we're only going to end up running like less than 50. So it'll be your chance to get a limited edition. I know Rob's already signed up, and several of you guys in the comments, thank you very much. That's awesome of you guys have signed up. So if you haven't got one, check that out. But what are we up to tonight, Rob? We're here to hang out. We're here to chill with y'all. Thanks for joining us in the chat.
Well, we are. And so when we came back at the beginning of the month, we thought, hey, we're going to do a 4-week rotation. And the first week was going to be like chatting about stuff. Second week was going to be guests. And this month we had Andre who came in and talked about his like history of comics and how he got into it and everything else. And then the third week we're going to do back to chatting, news, talking with you guys. And the fourth week was supposed to be our movie. We're going to do one movie a month instead of doing it on a weekly basis. And then it turned out that the first month we're back, October 2023. It is 5 weeks. So we are doing our movie next week, and that is The Lost Boys. It's our Halloween pick for this year. We've done Halloween picks in years previous, but we're going to do The Lost Boys next week, 8 p.m. Right here, Sunday night, the 29th. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and you can actually check out The Lost Boys. You can find it streaming online. But
do you remember roughly what it's about, Rob? Because I don't remember this movie at all, other than Kiefer Sutherland with the crazy hair and the dangly earrings and stuff like that.
Jason Patrick and Sean Astin, their mother is Diane Wiest, and they moved to a San Diego, in a California town, I guess, or whatever. And they end up finding out there's vampires, teenage vampires, John. That roam, and will Jason Patrick, the older brother, get sucked in, no pun intended, into the lifestyle of being a vampire or not?
Of being a lost boy.
There we go. Well, John, it's like the Lost Boys from Peter Pan, right?
Yeah.
So this week, John reached out to me and he goes, "Hey, man, Arnold Schwarzenegger has a new book that's out. Why don't we do our top 3 Arnie movies on a snake draft?" And I know he wanted to do this because he wanted to beat me and pick like all the good ones. I think I wasn't going to, but so we thought, hey, that's a good idea. So he's got this new book out. Just this past summer, he had I think it was like a 3-episode docu-series on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about Arnie movies today, but John, this is your guy, man. This is your ride or die, right?
Yeah, this is my all-time most favorite action hero 80s, 90s. It's hard to say current because he hasn't done a lot of stuff current. But he did release this book. It's called Be Useful. It is more of a self-help book. So he has done a couple books before. And I've actually read a lot of these books. So the earliest one I remember was a memoir about his days in the bodybuilding circuit, all that kind of stuff. I actually read that, Rob. I actually physically read
Wow.
an old school book with the pages and stuff. And then he had another memoir that came
I
out.
love it. This is a guy who owns a comic book store, and he's talking about books with pages.
Yeah, books and pages and text and type and stuff like that. And then I read the other one. It was I think it was called Total Recall. It was another memoir that delved deeper into his movie career, his political career, all that kind of stuff. The neat thing about this book, Be Useful, he's actually narrating the entire thing himself. And in the beginning of the book, he's just like, "Hey, if you hear the dog or the pigs oinking or kids or whatever, bear with him." So I guess he's just like, "I'm just gonna record this, and if things interrupt or I screw things up, I'm just gonna leave them in there." But I'm only like maybe one chapter in. It is a lot more along the lines of a self-help book, giving you kind of ideas and ways to achieve your goals. But he uses the stories of his life to help inspire you. I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about this one when it's done, Rob, because I've read a lot of his stuff, so I know a lot of these stories already.
Right.
So we'll see how much he shakes up. It is neat to hear his narration, so I am listening it on Audible. If you guys want to catch a copy, we do have a affiliate link in the description there. If you want to catch either the audiobook, sign up for Audible, or get the digital Kindle edition or the hardcover or whatever edition, you can use that link down there below, or do any of any of your shopping on Amazon after using that link. Really helps us out, kind of kicks us back something to the show. Yeah, what's up, Mike? Get to the chopper.
But I think Mike said chapter as if like chapters, maybe. That's
get to the chapters.
Right. Did you end up watching his 3-episode series on Netflix?
I didn't get to. I started to watch it.
Wow.
It seemed to one of my favorite.
You're a big fan, and obviously you're not.
Yeah. One of my all-time favorite movies, and you guys, I think I tried to bring it up with you and Stu, and you guys deemed it a documentary. It was Pumping Iron.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to qualify for Arnold films.
No.
But it did feel like it was retreading a lot of that ground. So I kind of put that on the back burner, and I'll get to it a little bit later. Did you watch it, Rob?
Yeah. I watched the whole thing, all 3 episodes, John, because I'm dedicated like that.
Yeah, look, you dedicated to documentaries. Okay, we know how big of a fan I am of Arnold. But you guys in the comments let us know. But Rob, Arnold, is Stallone more your guy? I know you got the Stallone voice, and then you're a big Rocky fan. But
no,
like, what are your thoughts on Arnold?
Oh no, I really liked
all-time greatest action hero.
The last action hero was horrible. No.
All-time greatest action hero. Like definitive. Like when you say action star,
my mind will automatically go. If you say your action movie star, my mind automatically goes to Arnold. That's just the first thing that pops into my head, and I think it's only because I really like the Stallone movies, but I felt that Arnold was just a lot bigger in scale, and I don't mean that like physicality. I just meant like his movies. Like it just felt like Rock. Okay, so Stallone had a lot more franchises, right? Like he had the Rockies, he had the Rambos, and then if you really think about it, okay, so like, then he had some offshoots like in the 90s, like Demolition Man, this and that. The 80s though were primarily like if it was Cobra and then Rocky movies and Rambo. Really, that's kind of it, right, for Stallone in the 80s. Whereas Arnold was a bit more diversified, like Commando, Red Heat. Like he was putting out a lot more of these movies, right? So that it just felt like it covered. I mean, they were all kind of the same shit, but it just covered a whole, a breadth of library as opposed to Stallone. At least that's my impression of it.
Yeah. When you were a kid, and you guys in the comments can chime in too. Did you know that Stallone was a much smaller guy, or did everyone just seem the same size when you're watching these, 80s, the golden era of action, larger than life heroes? I don't think it ever crossed my mind you would watch stuff like Rocky and he would fight Hulk, and Hulk you already knew was a big guy. So I don't know if I realized that he was a small guy until I got older. I think you could tell that Arnold was a big, like, tall guy, but I don't know if I ever realized that Stallone was a much shorter dude.
Yeah, but I don't think he's that much shorter than Arnold.
I don't know. I don't know, dude. Jess says he's 5 feet. I don't know if that's an exaggeration. I feel like he's a little bit more than that. But yeah, and shout outs to Mike who said he prefers Sly, so he's kind of like me and Robert kind of generally agreeing that Arnold is the guy. But you know,
Yeah.
Sly. If you have a reason why that happened, Mike, let us know. But maybe this is his reason. He said Arnold at his worst is better than Sly at his worst. I'm not quite. I guess
But
yeah.
you know
Like
what though? Like I think like if you like I would say that probably as an actor, I would
yeah.
probably have to put Sylvester Stallone over Arnold. Just because like hit Rocky, like what he did with that character, and like listen, man, the guy was also a director. He
Mhm.
also he was a writer, so like he's got a bit more tools in the tool bag, right?
Yeah.
I just like I said, I just look at the number of 80s and 90s action movies. I think that the scales tipped in Arnold's favor as opposed to Stallone's, and only because I think Stallone did a lot of his franchise stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It is something else to be able to write your own material, I think, and be able to perform it. And maybe Arnold, because of his size, sheer size, just got pigeonholed into certain parts. But I don't think he really was able to achieve some of those other sides like Stallone showed until later in his career, maybe. But yeah, Mike, I don't know if you're saying Kindergarten Cop is a bad movie or not, but Kindergarten is a masterpiece.
Well, I think he's saying Kindergarten Cop's better than Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, but that's Um,
That's an
I
easy
would
bar.
agree with that because Stop the Mom and She's a pretty bad movie.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna talk more about Arnold later on. So keep in mind, folks, your 3 favorite Arnold movies, or your favorite Arnold movies, and we're gonna circle back to that. But we are gonna get to what should we hit first, Rob? The news, or you guys want to know what's going on at the shop?
We don't really have that much news, John. We can hit the
Yeah.
news if you want quickly.
Yeah. Let's go.
Obviously, listen, we're still in the strike zone, right? So there's not a lot coming up. But John, I'm actually going to go on a bit of a rant here. You know how much I am a James Bond fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, it's been quite some time since No Time to Die. I think it was 2021 is when it came out, but that was
Yeah.
delayed due to the pandemic. They actually stopped. They finished filming it in 2019, so we're already well over 4 years here. And everybody's been kind of anxiously waiting for news of a new Bond movie. Who's going to be cast? What's going on? And you know, we're getting this stupid reality series on Amazon, The Road to 007. But Barbara Broccoli came out yesterday, I guess, in an interview and pretty much said, "Oh, we're not even in the stratosphere of figuring out who the next Bond is. We have to restart from the beginning. We have to figure out how we wanted to proceed and who would even fill that role after we have a pathway forward. So we're a ways out." John, nothing infuriates me more than hearing this, right? Like,
You're like, this movie should have been out yesterday.
In all fairness, like you knew Craig was done after Spectre. You goaded him back with a boatload of cash and a lot of creative control, essentially, to be able to finish the Bond the way he wanted to do it. But you knew back in 2015 or 2016 with Spectre, you knew back then that you had to start looking and getting your ducks in a row. What the hell are you like? What are you waiting for? Like, this is like, it's one of the highest grossing IP franchises of all time, right? It's 24, 8, 12, 60, 24 movies. Like, what are you 25 movies. What are you doing? I don't understand. Like, I honestly, I'm so mad about it. And I would be cussing and swearing right now if it wasn't for Lewis telling me to watch my language in the comments. I'm beside myself, John. I'm so pissed. Like, I have nothing else to say other than I want to rage and watch the world burn out of this.
It is ridiculous to have such a like crazy. It's got more movies than Fast and Furious movies, which is crazy to actually realize that Fast and Furious is now in the running for that type of comparison. But yeah, why did they not have this planned out? Why do they not have a new person picked out? Do you think it's maybe just this is the way it works now? Everything is like knee jerk or like last minute. Gauge the public reaction, like they maybe don't want to choose someone until they find someone who kind of like gets some type of upwards momentum wave. Like there's been Idris Elba mentioned in the comments.
Yeah,
all
we
that
talked
kind of
about this
stuff.
before.
Like,
They're never going to go with an individual that old, right? They need to bank
yeah,
at least four movies on this at minimum 3, more than likely 4 movies on an individual. You got to go.
yeah,
We've always talked. You have to go younger to okay, but like, and you know, to be fair, most of these other James Bond actors, aside from Pierce Brosnan, were relatively unknowns before they, right? Like they had a few credits on
yeah,
the name, but they weren't overly well known, right?
yeah.
Before the
But
70s,
that's
that
rarely
role.
done in Hollywood today. Rarely in Hollywood are you banking on unknowns at the moment, right?
Yeah, but
Like you
these
wouldn't
guys
see like
always,
Alan Richardson like kind of show up as 007 nowadays, right? Like,
yeah, but they self-finance, right? Like it's their
hmm,
shit. They sell the right, like, you know, MGM has the right for distribution, this and that. So at any rate, it baffles my brain that they don't have any. Like I think, in fact, we talked on this show and I said I wouldn't be surprised if they make an announcement before the end of the year. Now
yeah.
I obviously that's just not happening because I
Well,
don't.
yeah, yeah. The strike is kibosh any thing that they might have been in the works. Did you ever see that clickbait article or that rumor that they were saying Christopher Nolan was in the running to direct the
Yeah. Yeah,
next
I
batch?
think we talked about that, or at
Yeah,
least we
yeah,
had an offline chat with
yeah.
Stu and yourself and I think it'd be a horrible idea.
No, really, like the Tenant, the spy stuff with him and Pattinson.
Yeah.
Not him and Pattinson, but he directed
Yeah,
Pattinson
yeah.
and who's
John David
Jonathan David
Washington.
Washington. Yeah, like that stuff was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
So
But
yeah,
the problem is that then it becomes a Christopher Nolan movie,
yeah,
not a James Bond movie.
yeah. He's too big of a name now.
Oh, I think yeah, it would be the same as if they had a Spielberg. Like you get a Spielberg, like you have to
Or
have
Tarantino James Bond.
right.
Yeah,
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 it's a Tarantino movie of James Bond. Then it's not.
yeah.
It's a
So this director has to be not big enough that they can slide in. Like what about the guy the Mission Impossible guy, Christopher McQuarrie or whatever? Could he
Christopher
slide in, or
Quarry.
is
Yeah,
his
yeah,
style
but
too
that's the thing.
definitive?
People, it's a Tom Cruise movie, right? Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie. It's not a Chris McQuarrie movie. So like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, you go back and look at all the Bond movies. I mean, you know, the guy who did Spectre, Sam Mendes, who did Spectre and Skyfall, like he was well known. He won
mhm,
some Oscars and whatnot for I think American Beauty, whatever. But he was like probably the most well known. To be very honest with you, like the history of Bond, they usually use like an in-house guy that did most of their directing. So it wasn't really
mhm.
until later on that they started branching out. Martin Campbell and so that did Goldeneye and came back for Casino Royale. But whatever, they've always had directors who have got a repertoire behind them. They've
Yeah,
cut their chops. They've earned their dues and stuff like that. But they're not bigger than the character. Nolan's way too big. He's bigger than the character.
yeah,
So I just don't think it would ever happen.
yeah. So we no Oppenheimer style James Bond coming up
Oh
on
my
Rob's
God,
list.
no.
On Rob's list, it's not there. So yeah, who would you cast anyone, Rob? Did you have anyone in mind? I know you're fuming that they haven't picked somebody, but is there someone
For,
you'd be like, okay, if it had to happen, let's go with this guy right now?
oh God, I don't know. I'd have to go back. I'd honestly have to take a look at like who young Hollywood is now to kind of.
Yeah,
To be
like a
honest with you,
Noah
actually
Centrino.
watching. What's that?
Noah Centrino.
No, he's American. They'll never cast an American.
Jesus.
So
All right.
they'll only cast like somebody from like the relatives for the general UK. They cast an Aussie once, and the rest of them have been Irish, Scottish, or English. So they'll never cast an American. I would have said especially after seeing the Batman, Robert Pattinson probably would have been a really good. After seeing Tenet as well, I think Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson would have been a really good Bond.
Okay, so you're okay with the Pattinson from the Nolan film? Bring him over.
Yeah, but he won't do it. He won't do that. He won't do another franchise like that. He's stuck with Batman, right? I mean, thankfully, but he wouldn't.
This guy's gonna curse his Batman too. He's out. He's out. It's over.
Yeah, but I'm not sitting here banging the Daniel Radcliffe drum for Daniel Radcliffe as Bond. No, thank you.
No.
Right?
We're Harry Potter guy, right?
He was that
Is
Harry
that the
Potter,
Harry Potter
yeah.
guy?
And there's always those rumors about him, being the new Wolverine, and he
Yeah.
shot that one down himself. Like, yeah, no, that's not happening, guys. Like, I don't know where that came from, but I've had zero. Like,
Oh well, because he looks ridiculous right now. He's like super ripped right now. Whatever project it was.
yeah.
Yeah. Lewis says,
So,
congratulations, you've just cursed Batman too. So we'll see. We'll see if
damn
that
it.
comes to bite Robin Butt. All right. Anyways, moving on from 007. What else we got?
oh, so this is a big weekend, John, for video game nerds. And I saw a couple of comments. this past weekend, Insomniac released Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. And Nintendo released a brand new Mario game called Mario Wonder, which apparently is kind of like a you could say a successor to Super Mario Brothers 3. It's a side-scrolling adventure, but it's gotten huge scores. People are loving the new Mario Brothers Wonder. I'm gonna tell you, John.
Yeah.
So I bought it.
Yeah, you bought it. Have you tried it? Lou said he's playing it.
I played a few levels today. My kids have a Switch. They haven't played it in like a year and a bit. So yeah. I updated the firmware, got everything, and I went and I got the game and I've tried it out. It's not bad, man. It's not bad. There's a lot that I'm not used to. At some point, Mario turns into a giant elephant. I haven't understood why. And you're using your trunk to knock things around. But it is hella cool. I do really want to play Spider-Man 2, but I think I'm gonna wait for like the holidays to see if I can get that as a gift. So
yeah, like Christmas holidays.
Yeah. See, the problem is my son wants it as well, but he doesn't want. He's like, I'll wait for you to get it before I play it. So
you guys are playing chicken. You guys are playing chicken. Who's gonna crack and buy it first, and then the other person will just get to play it.
So yeah, I mean that's a huge.
Lewis, give us your 1-level review. Rob's giving us his 1-level review, but give us your 1-level review.
Yeah, I mean I haven't. So I'll wait for Lewis to let us know what he thought. Yeah. I haven't. Like 2018 was the last big year for video games. You had God of War, you had Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2, and maybe the Call of Duty. But that was a huge year in 2018, right, for video games. So this feels like another. I mean, but they're both released on the exact same weekend, so it's pretty crazy. So gamers are eating good this weekend, man. If you are a gamer.
Yeah, I saw a whole bunch of people playing Spider-Man 2. I think Steve is included. One of them, he said Mario Wonder is a good throwback. I tried to play that last Mario that came out. The one where it's like you can play 4 players with my kids, and you thought it would be hard alone. Once you add a couple other people getting in your way, because you collide with each other when you start jumping and running around.
Okay.
Many lives lost in that game. So, but it gives you a good laugh. So I'll look for it. I'll definitely check out the Mario. I've been playing my Switch a lot more too, Rob. I got the new Double Dragon. That was a lot of fun.
Okay.
And it's a great system for the kiddies. If you've been trying to play stuff with them on whatever system, the Switch is pretty good. I think that's probably why your kids are old enough that probably they're past it now.
Well, my son's got his PS5. My daughter doesn't play video games, right? So it was just kind of sitting there, to be honest with you. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to fire this sucker up because I really like. I still have to finish God of War Ragnarok. I am looking forward to playing Spider-Man 2. I've heard nothing but great things, but I thought, you know what? Let's just check out how Wonder is doing. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else, John. In terms of news, I mean, we heard Deadpool 3 was supposed to come out in May of 2024. That has now been removed from the docket indefinitely, which is usually a bad sign for a project. But the fact that more than half is already finished filming, they just don't know where they're going to put it because they have to wait for the strike to be over to resume filming. So it will be back, but it won't be back for quite some time. Maybe 2025. John, I don't know, man. Like everything, who knows what the next 2 years are going to hold for movies.
We're going to see the rise of you think more reality shows again, or unscripted content, like stuff like that.
Probably, yeah.
Animated stuff, maybe. I feel like animated stuff sometimes is a little faster.
God, I hope not.
More lower decks for Rob.
Oh God, please no. let the pain stop. And I guess that's really kind of about it, John, in terms of news. Like we're just, there's not a lot of news going around, just again because of the strike, and so it is what it is.
Yeah, and I always think it's weird because I try to catch up so I can at least run with Rob here, and check the Twitter and stuff for what's trending, and it's nothing. It's like sports, and other just random stuff that pops up. So
have you watched anything, John? Before we jump to the store, have you watched anything this week?
I have watched Diddley Squat.
Wicked. All right.
What about you? I've listened to the first couple chapter, like the chapter of the Arnold book, and I catch up on a lot of podcasts and stuff, but sitting down watching stuff, I'm way behind on many things. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I started watching. No, I can't think of anything. What about you, Rob? What is even new?
Well, so Netflix has they still releasing stuff. They released so Mike Flanagan is the creator behind The Haunting of Hill House, which we talked about a couple
Oh
years
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Was absolutely fabulous. And then he did Haunting of Bly Manor, which is okay. And then Midnight Mass last year. I freaking love that. And then this year he released The Fall of the House of Usher. It's an eight episode kind of a horror series. But
So
it's
not You Make Me Wanna Usher.
no, there's
Not USHERRAYMOND. No.
I wish there's a mute button for you. So,
Hey, it's 7 o'clock on the dot. Where's Usher?
yeah, this is though based on the works of Edgar Allan Poe, John.
Oh crap.
So
Okay.
yeah. So anyways, I just finished it last night. It's eight episodes. It's totally worth if you are kind of like a horror person, like you like that type of stuff. It's totally worth your time, but it is like they're an hour each episode, and it is an hour. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it feels like an hour. And then because it's Halloween, John, and I'm still trying to watch some scary stuff as much as I can, I watched that movie Smile on Paramount Plus. Do you remember the marketing for this where they had people like at baseball games, just like they had them seated, behind behind the batters, just like the entire game, just they're smiling the entire game. Do you remember
like a real game, like a real baseball game.
Real baseball games, real sporting events. They had actors just in the stands, just smiling. The camera pan over and just.
That's pretty good viral marketing. I wonder how much you get paid for that. If you got a check for standing in the background smiling, hit me up. I want to know how much that pays.
So I will say that it's on Paramount Plus in Canada. Is it worth watching? Because I know that's the question you didn't ask. Sure. I won't watch it again. It's okay.
Is it worth watching? It's okay. This is Rob's recommendation. It's okay.
It's okay. Hey, it's
worth watching. Yes, it's okay.
It's like it's worth watching once, but it's not gonna be on your annual Halloween movie, bag of movies to watch. Okay, I gotta get my dog.
I would say it's if you say it's okay, I would say pass on it. Yeah. Hey, I did try to watch something, Rob. Do you remember that Eddie Murphy movie called Metro?
Oh my God, yeah.
With Michael Rappaport. I think this is like the 5th time I've done it, and I've tried to watch it, and you turn it on. Eddie Murphy plays a hostage negotiator. This is towards the, I guess, right before his kind of career dipped, I guess you call it. Yeah. And he's a hostage negotiator, and Michael Rappaport's in it and stuff like that. And they have a pretty good intro to the movie, and then it just loses all steam. I don't know why it popped up for me, but I've done it several times. So that was my attempt to watch something.
Oh, I don't know why you would.
I know. I think I do own that movie on Laserdisc because I was a big Eddie Murphy fan. New movie came out, and I was like, oh, let me get it. And just throw it like a frisbee into the backyard.
Not very good, man. Not very good.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's it, right? We caught up. You played some games. You're not going to play Spider-Man yet.
No, I will.
Some Double Dragon. Yeah, I played some Double Dragon, guys. If you guys are looking for a good 2-player game, it's fantastic. I forgot what it's called, but it's the new Double Dragon. It's on Switch and everything else. And I did play some. Remember that Ninja Turtles game that came out, Rob? I don't know what it was called.
Shredder's Revenge?
Yeah, something like it. Shredder's Revenge, and then they did an update that added Usagi Yojimbo and.
Oh, really? I have it for my PS5, but I haven't.
They added a survival mode. So I had a couple buddies over the other day, and my daughter. We were playing 4-player survival mode. It goes up to 6 players, I think, and you just fight guys in through these waves until you fight Super Shredder. It's kind of cool. And then you get these power-ups, and you get to be Bebop and Rocksteady and fight. So if you're looking for something fun, good party game, check out that Ninja Turtles. I think it's Shredder's Revenge. I think you're right. Yeah. And I think you do get it on Game Pass if you're on Xbox. But anyways, all right, let's wrap that up. Rob, can I tell you a little bit about what's going on at the shop this coming week? And then we'll get into our Arnold Schwarzenegger talk. Coming up this week, we have comics, cookies, and conversation with Andre at the shop. Oh, look at it. Rob's got some cookies on right now. Looks delicious. And that is where you can come in. You'll have some comics, cookies, and conversation. So Andre will be talking about the Amazing Spider-Man Kraven's Last Hunt, which is really relevant because Spider-Man 2, I think, does feature Kraven, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a pretty good book for this type of season. If you're looking for something with a little bit of edge to it, a little bit of a darker tale involving everyone's favorite web-headed hero, Kraven's Last Hunt. Even if you're not going to attend book club, maybe check out this book. We've got lots of copies in stock. It is either $10 at the door, or you can let us know in advance so we know that you're coming. Or if you buy a copy of Amazing Spider-Man: Kraven's Last Hunt from us, you can attend this kind of meetup for free. So a lot of fun, these kind of new events we're running at the new shop. We also have a new toy photography workshop with our good buddy Jeff, who is a master of taking all kinds of random household objects, kinetic sand, random. He took a whole bunch of tree branches from outside of the floor in the shop, and turned these really wicked photos with some editing, some lighting, some smoke effects, all that kind of stuff. So that's coming up. That is it's in November 11th, which is a Saturday. So check that out. And let me see did I have anything else? I think that was it. And then we have our regular events. Wednesday is New Comic Book Day. So if you are not collecting the comic books, and when they come out on the regular, it's every Wednesday. So hit us up, come by the shop, or check out the releases online, and you can let us know what you need saved. And then we have our Magic events on Fridays. That's Commander. And then we have tons of Warhammer and miniature gaming going on throughout the week. So if you're looking to get some a hobby, something to take up your time in your life, hit me up and let's talk Warhammer. So that's everything going down at the shop right now and more. But I think that's it. Rob, let's should we start talking some Arnold? What do we want to do again?
Yeah, buddy. So the idea was like we were gonna originally do a so I'm trying to figure out where my dog is. All right, we're gonna do
He's loose.
snake draft. You wanted to do our top three Arnold movies. And so I think we should totally do that, and it will be fun because I know what yours are.
Yeah, you know exactly what mine are.
And I'm like, I gotta tell you, it's like for the last couple of days, I've been like strategically planning, like if I go first on this, am I gonna pick just to screw John up? And then, or if I go second, do I pick my real pick, or do I pick what John's real second would be and mess him up?
hey now, let's not mess everything up. So you guys in the comments, let us know what your favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies are. We're gonna have some fun with it. Rob, how should we decide who goes first? Do we want to flip a coin? Do you have a coin on you?
No, I don't. Let's do paper, rock, scissors.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Oh, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and go. Okay.
Okay,
ready? 1, 2. Wait, you're not even. Come on.
I'm going. Is there a delay? 1,
2, 3, go.
I got scissors.
So do I.
Oh,
right,
crap.
ready?
What happens now? What happens when you get the same thing? Oh, we keep going.
1, 2, 3, go. Okay, ready?
Okay, we're gonna be here all night, folks.
1, 2, 3, go. All right, I win. I got
you knew I was gonna just cycle through all of them. All right. So that took a million years. Thanks, guys, for bearing with us. Don't worry, folks. I'm saving your top threes here, and then we'll get to those after we kind of do our little fun draft. So let's pick three. Do we want any stipulations, Rob, or are we just gonna straight up pick them as you let the dog out?
All right.
You could cut a little hole in the. What is a doggy door too much?
No. Okay, so you know what? I'm actually, as much as I want to screw you over, I'm not gonna pick. I'm gonna pick my true number one.
I think you have to. The first pick has to be Terminator 2. Is it not?
No, not for me.
What?
Yeah. No.
What?
Yeah. So that's why I decided, John. I'm giving that to you.
Okay.
And I can tell you, it's not Eraser either.
I love Eraser.
I know you do. I know yours are going to be Terminator 2, Eraser, and Total Recall. Those are going to be your three. I know.
Get out of here.
Okay, so here's my first movie.
Yeah. Is it Commando? Is it Commando? It's like Scott said, because he's right. It is one of the most quotable movies of all time. Yeah.
This is a movie that was written by Oliver Stone, John.
What?
Yeah. Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, right. Okay. That I respect that choice. I respect Conan the Barbarian. I don't see it on a lot of people's lists that they're posting right now.
That is my ultimate favorite Arnie movie because I probably have watched that one the most. I love that movie. I used to listen to, I had the soundtrack, the John Milius soundtrack on CD, and I would listen, and we would put it, when I had football games in high school, we put it in. I'd listen to it. I would listen to it before an exam. It would get me all jazzed up. I absolutely love Conan the Barbarian. Conan the Destroyer is a piece of shit. Conan the Barbarian.
Okay,
though?
Conan the Destroyer is kind of fun. There's a lot of action in it. Arnold like rides a horse and fights people. It's got Wilt Chamberlain in it, if I'm not mistaken,
and
right?
Grace Jones.
Yeah, Grace Jones with the stick.
Yeah, and then this weird goblin guy at the end doing like the Enter the Dragon stuff with the mirrors. No,
yeah,
Conan the Destroyer is atrocious.
The very jank like live action or the very animatronic looking like bad guy. But yeah, no, I respect that choice. It has does the Destroyer have Mako in it? Because I think Mako really like he was like the older Asian guy.
Yeah, he was the first one.
Yeah, is he in the second one?
I think he might have been. I think he might.
I feel like he's not.
You might be right. I know they recast a couple of them, so he might not be.
Yeah. I remember he like because he kind of like is a narrator, kind of a pseudo narrator at certain points in that movie, and that I feel like that really helps make the movie. Yeah, like Conan the Barbarian. I respect that. I feel like I didn't watch it as much, but I don't know.
It's a yearly watch for me.
Yeah. Is it the one with the ending where he's on the throne and he's like heavy as the crown and all that kind of stuff? Yeah. So you can almost, if they follow it up, they can almost retcon and not have 2 happen.
But I actually think that they do something similar for 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've always waited for the promise of King Conan. I mean, it'll probably never happen.
Yeah. Have you ever looked up how much it would cost for a Conan sword?
No.
No? Oh man, I remember I did a deep dive, and they have multiple. They have the replica, just like it's just a piece of metal, not sharpened. But they also make an edition that is legit forged, and could be used by if there was a real Conan, to fight in battle for reals. And that's probably like I think at the time I was looking it up, it was like $3,000. It's probably 6,000 plus right now, to get a sword like that. If you could, they might not even let you buy something like that, but that's how deep. Yeah. And remember Arnold busted the sword out, I guess when he was running out for governor or something like that. And he was talking about, he talks about it in the first chapter of his book. He's like, I had the sword, I made this speech, all that kind of stuff. And maybe that's what got him the election.
Honestly, one of my favorite movies of all time, man. Love it.
Yeah. I'm surprised it didn't pop up on many people's lists. I do. Don't worry. I see Nerd Emperor's list here. It does have Conan on there.
I got to give a shout out to Michelle. Conan the Librarian, only on YouTube too. That's a UHF. I love that. Yeah.
Oh man, we didn't get to do a UHF rewatch, even though that Weird Al Yankovic, whatever that I don't know what you would call it.
His movie,
life story movie or something.
Yeah.
Biopic. Yeah, biopic. Yeah. But yeah, very respectable choice by Rob. Conan the Barbarian. I don't think it would have made my top 3 list because my movies are much more cheesier. My first choice has to be, of course, Terminator 2. I remember I used to kid myself back in the day and tell people Terminator 1 is better. But it's not. Terminator 1 is fantastic fun. It's got that horror feeling. It's got some really cool looks on Arnold. Remember, the longer disco hair that he had? It's pretty iconic look for him. But Terminator 2, you can't deny how good this movie is.
Yeah. No, it's great. It set the bar, right, for like those 90s sci-fi action movies. Like it really brought in the use of special effects into movies and stuff like that, in a way that wasn't done before. So
Do you think if they didn't dilute the Terminator franchise with the terrible movie that is known as 3, and then the follow-up movies, which I actually don't mind, Salvation, Genesis, and then Dark Fate, I don't mind them. They're fun watches. But do you think if they didn't dilute it and maybe they dropped the mic at number 2, you think Terminator 2 would just be like a way of life? You know how some people are just like, aliens.
Yeah, but they made so many other aliens. Oh, that's the problem. Like they made a bunch more alien movies, but everybody still says Aliens is the best. And so I think that it's the same as like Die Hards. We talked about this before, right?
Yeah.
Like they got 6 Die Hards, but nobody really cares about.
I guess the later ones are so forgettable, but I feel like the Terminator, because everyone had such anticipation and stuff for it, that the other ones, I feel like it does hurt the legacy a little bit. And the Terminator 2 would be like higher up in people's minds and ideas. And we're coming up upon Judgment Day, folks. I don't know if you guys have been using ChatGPT and AI stuff.
Yeah.
It's getting scary here. So watch out for Judgment Day. Terminator 2 is my first choice. And I've thought it was the only choice, but I do respect this Barbarian choice with you, Rob. All
All
right, so
right. So
let's go
you want to
number
hit your
3.
second one? You want to do snake draft? You want to go second?
Oh, I guess we should go backwards. Oh man, do I pick a movie that Rob would pick? Oh man, do I do that, or do I just pick what I think I would pick? Is Rob gonna pick an Expendables movie? I don't think that's gonna be on anyone's list.
No,
Is
I can
he gonna
guarantee
pick
you.
one of our favorites, Running Man? A special place in our hearts because we did a very fun episode with the Running Man. I don't think it's on there. Total Recall, Rob. I know you pegged it as one of my lists. I don't know if it was a joke or not, but I don't put it on my list. I think it's a little too wild. Although I should rewatch it now because I feel like it probably it's probably aged pretty well. It's kind of just like an entire story arc. But number 2 for me has to be Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny
Seriously?
DeVito. Yeah, I love
Okay.
it. It's so funny. It's got Arnold, Arnold being Arnold, just kind of this clueless good guy. It's got the whole rules of a crisis situation, fun stuff like that. And then it's got him playing off Danny DeVito. And it also has that legacy of, I think it's one of the movies he's made the most money on because he took, instead of getting a big payout up front, he took a piece of the back end and the movie just exploded.
Yeah.
So just
You know
just
where
so
he
many
got that idea from, right?
No, still him?
Jack Nicholson
Oh, Jack Nicholson?
with
Okay.
Batman.
Oh, okay. So Jack Nicholson took a big piece of Batman '89, hey?
Oh, huge. And in fact, I think that his contract was something like if that character of Jack Napier is used going forward, like he gets a percentage of it, like or a piece of it. Like he got royalties on the toys and everything else of that. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, yeah. So
Twins.
I have to pick Twins just because I grew up on it. The whole he pops up on the car with one wheel, all that kind of stuff. Super fun movie. But Rob, what do you pick as your number 2? What would I have had to try and
I'm surprised that
steal from you?
it's for me, Predator.
Predator? Oh, okay. Yeah. We did a rewatch. I feel like it's a little too slow for me. But it does. I think it does stand up as like just a good overall movie because of that pacing, and the whole misdirect. You got these big muscular dudes covered in coconut oil and sweat, firing big, like the biggest gun. Yeah, the biggest guns that you could find and stuff like that, and they're just getting defeated by this one thing.
Yeah, I mean, we did find it to be
the soundtrack too. Soundtrack amazing.
Yeah, we did find it to be a bit slow at times, but I still think for the type of violence, like the gore, the dismemberments, everything else like that, like I just him in the jungle. Yeah, man, I was like, it's Predator.
Yeah. All right, Predator number 2. All right, so you're gonna get another choice. If you guys aren't familiar with Snake Draft, it took me like how many seasons of the Heroes World podcast?
7, and we've only done 3 seasons
to figure out how this Snake Draft works because I don't sports. But anyways, it's always a lot of fun. We're gonna have Stu on. Maybe we'll slate Stu on for November and throw it back. But all right, what else you got, Rob?
Oh God, this is really tough because I'm like, there's so many other ones where it's like,
do you want a guilty pleasure pick instead?
Well, no, because I'm just trying to think like which one do I like. It's definitely not Jingle All the Way. That one is all on you, my friend.
Kindergarten Cop?
And you're right. I haven't watched Total Recall in a while. It won't be Running Man because even though we did that rewatch, I think we both found it and did not hold up as well as what we had remembered.
It's not as good. And Arnold's mentioned it in his book. There was an original script and the book version, I think. He wanted it to go that direction. So it could have been much more. I'm surprised they haven't done a remake. Is it True Lies? Do you pick True Lies?
It is going to be True Lies because it was something I just watched like within the past 6 months or so, and I showed my son, and I actually felt like I liked it more this time than I had seen it in the past.
Yeah,
like it was one of those ones like I didn't watch all the time. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I actually really, really appreciated it more now than I did back then. So yeah, I'm gonna go True Lies.
True Lies. I think that's a solid choice. We did rewatch it at one point during I think our bracket showdowns. Especially the last half of the movie I think doesn't stand up as well because of this the special effects. Yeah, the hair you get doesn't look quite as good as it does as what they can accomplish nowadays. But that entire beginning half, as Arnold with the spy, him riding the horse,
Harrier jet with the blowing up the bridge. I mean, that was still solid, man.
Yeah. So overall, I think it was in contention of not making my list, maybe jumping to 4 or whatever. But I think it probably would have snuck in if you didn't pick it. So I'm struggling with what my 3 would be now. You picked all the good ones. I think, yeah, you guys, I need some help. Yeah, Tom Arnold. Yeah, so Scott shouts out Tom Arnold in True Lies. I think he definitely helped. Great sidekick for Arnold.
So how come? Okay, so like, would you go with like the 80s and early 90s actions, like the Red Heat, the Commandos, the
Red Heat is fantastic fun.
Yeah.
and I love me a buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
And is that Jim Belushi or James Belushi?
Jim
Same thing.
Belushi,
Yeah, Jim Belushi. Yeah, same. Yeah, similar thing. Yeah, but I think I have to actually go with my, I guess, which would have been contention between 3rd and 4th. I think I have to pick Commando, even though it doesn't stand up as well as we thought. Some of the stuff is kind of cheesy in it, especially the bad guy, the Freddie Mercury knockoff. Is just terrible. I wish we could somehow Kickstarter another character in there. But just all the lines, the iconic look that Arnold had with all the gear, the rocket launcher, all that fun stuff. And like Scott said earlier, the most quotable lines, don't disturb my friend, he's dead tired.
Yeah.
The watch, even the iconic watch that he wears in it, it's a Seiko, they call it the Arnie. They re-released it at some point. But I think Commando, just for me, I know it probably doesn't belong there. Would make this particular list just because of the nostalgia. Sometimes he pushes the, like, when they cut the brakes of his car and the engine and everything, he has to push this truck down the hill and just fly after these guys. It's freaking bonkers. It's a bonkers scene. So not making the list, none of the Expendables, folks.
Well, come on.
I'm unfortunate.
Or The Last Stand.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have any runners up, Rob? I think Last Stand is a lot of fun. It's one of his best movies. That when he came back, I didn't like Sabotage. I haven't watched Maggie because it sounds freaking heartbreaking as hell.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, that's the one where his daughter, I think, is turning into a zombie or something like that.
Oh, right, yeah.
I heard the summary. I'm like, I can't do it, but I heard it's a very good performance by him. But what about Rob?
Right.
6th Day?
Now that I remember you saying that, because I think people are saying, "Oh, it's like Arnold's version of The Last of Us." You're right. I completely forgot about that one. Runners up.
Honorable mentions, or what is definitive worst? Mike's brought up Junior. I think that's definitely in the running. Junior is
Last
a
Action
movie.
Hero, man. I really.
It's got its charm, but we did try rewatch and it didn't quite work out, right?
No, it was between. So, like, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know if I've watched every Arnold movie that he's ever made, especially like the last 10 years or 15 years that he's made.
Yeah.
But like, if I was to like go back from like 80s to like the early, right before he became the governor, I would have said his worst 3 would have been Junior, and in no particular order. So Junior, Jingle All the Way, and Last Action Hero.
Yeah, I don't think Last Action Hero belongs on the list. Jingle All the Way, I totally understand. It is a goofy ass movie, and a lot of it feels a little bit inappropriate at this time. The whole Phil Hartman going after his wife and stuff like that is a little risque. I would definitely put movies like Collateral Damage.
Was that before he became governor or after?
I think it was the last one he did. I think it was.
You might be right. Yeah, because it was like, there was Collateral Damage. Was it like, what was it? Was it End of Days? Was that the one?
End of Days, I kind of like. I think End of Days could have been something.
And what was the 6th? Somebody mentioned it before. The 6th day or something.
6th day. I think it had potential at least, and it could have been something. But yeah, it's something about, like, I think definitely on the bottom 3 list is Collateral Damage, Junior, maybe Escape with Stallone. I feel like that movie was pretty bad. Yeah. I feel like Expendables doesn't really count because he's only like
he's an ensemble, right? He's in a little bit.
Yeah.
But see, like,
something I would have liked to. Yeah.
You were saying Total Recall. See, I've watched Total Recall a lot. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I really, really like Total Recall. Like, I remember watching that movie like 1,000 times. Right? Like that. Yeah. And that was the thing.
I feel like it's due for a rewatch. I think with all the like how good sci-fi has gotten lately, I think. I think it's probably due for a rewatch. And for some reason at the time, I wasn't feeling it. I didn't like the darker tone.
Oh, really?
kind of like
Oh,
the kind of like grittiness of it. You know, when their eyeballs get big and and their faces explode when they're in space. I thought it was too much when I was in my younger days, but I might find it hilarious now. Michelle says Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin has to be at the bottom. Do you put it at the bottom, Rob? I know the Batman.
I wouldn't even count that as
franchises.
not an Arnold movie, right? Like he's just like that's the thing. Like that's why I don't count the Expendables or anything like that, right? Like
yeah, I don't know. Lewis asked about Fubar. I did watch episode 1 of Fubar. I didn't like it at all. I don't know if anyone watched the rest of it.
Is that his TV show?
That was the TV show where he has a daughter.
No, I didn't watch that.
And it's kind of like he's like an operative getting out of the game, and then he finds out his daughter is in the game as well.
That was on Netflix. That came out this year, I think. No, I have zero interest.
Yeah, no one even cared. Yeah, Lewis mentions Iron Mask, which was that I think it's a foreign movie. I know some of these are just, I feel like they don't count as his movies. Like Killing Gunther. I don't know if you ever watched that one, Rob.
No,
I couldn't do it. It wasn't on there. Terminator 3, I think, should have been in the running for bottom.
See, I don't remember not. Like I remember it being like not. I remember though the cemetery scene being really sick.
Oh yeah, like, the coffin is like
he has
full
the
of guns
casket on top of his.
Yeah.
Like I remember that.
So it has some moments, and what's her name? Is it Christina Loken or whatever as the female Terminator?
Yeah.
She was pretty. She was kind of fun, Claire Danes, and it had the whole idea they lose at the end. I think that was a cool concept. No matter what they do, Judgment Day happens, and then John Connor gets thrown into this thing. So maybe not at the bottom, but it is the bottom of the Terminator. Do you put it at the bottom of the Terminator, or do you put Salvation?
No, I hated that Salvation.
I loved Salvation. I wish we got more Salvation.
You know what? I really should rewatch those ones again. Like Salvation didn't have Arnie in it at all, right?
It had a cameo, a CG cameo, which looked amazing. Okay. And then they got a bodybuilder that looked just like him, like same kind of like muscle definition, and then they put his face on there. And I just really liked it. I haven't watched it in some time. I remember enjoying Genesis when it was out, and I enjoyed Dark Fate, but I've never gone back and rewatched them. You know what I mean? Like sat down and just rewatched them. It might be time to do it. Yeah. See, some people say Salvation, like Fraser is okay with Salvation, Lewis is okay with Salvation.
Yeah, but saying I'm fine with Salvation, I don't think is a glowing.
That's another Rob review. It's fine or it's okay.
Fine.
Definitely rush out to see it. Definitely take your time to see it. All right, let's go through everybody else. Like I saw a bunch of people post some stuff, so let's go through you guys' list for a quick second. Fraser says True Lies, T2, Twins, Kindergarten Cop, Total Recall, Predator, and Commando. That's like 6. Fraser. So I'm gonna assume the ones that you put at the early part of the list were the first ones that come to mind. So True Lies, T2, Twins.
So that means that Fraser only likes the top 3 are all T movies.
Yeah, the triple T's.
There we go.
But Kindergarten Cop, tons of fun. I still love that movie. Arnold with the kids, it's hilarious. Let's see, Michelle. Oh, here Michelle did it proper. True Lies, Terminator 2, Total Recall.
T's as well.
Yeah, triple T's. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the triple T's. Total Recall. Yeah, I think it's due for a rewatch. What about Terminator 1, Rob? Would Terminator 1 in any shape or form ever crack your top 3?
Nope.
No, even the whole horror aspect. I don't know. I really like.
Nope. I know you keep trying to push this horror movie aspect.
You know what? You know what's fantastic about Terminator 1? You know that speech that Michael Biehn gives when he's like the Terminator's coming after you, and he's like giving the speech to Sarah through the camera. He's like, he doesn't stop, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't care. He's like that is a great scene. So I would rewatch that, and then just it's crazy. Maybe you don't like Arnold killing all these cops and good people, right? It's kind of unnerving. So Lewis says
that doesn't bother me.
Rob's fine. Rob is okay with it. True Lies, Terminator 2, Last Action Hero from Lewis. Hey, man. I feel like some of the younger crowd is actually okay with Last Action Hero.
Oh God, I don't know why.
Here's Fraser's list again. I don't know if I bookmarked it twice. Mike, Predator, T2, and that's probably it. You caught everything else, Mike. Oh, there's nothing that cracks top 3. All right.
Wow.
Fair
Mike
enough.
is hardcore.
No, that's standing by your standards, I guess, right?
Wow.
I'm not letting the third one in. Doesn't stand up. Steve says T2, Predator, True Lies. Yeah, that's a solid list. I think that's almost Rob's list exactly, right?
Yeah, except
And
for
then
T2 at the beginning. Yeah.
yeah, and then Nerd Emperor, Terminator, True Lies, Last Action Hero is his top 3. Okay, another Last Action Hero. I think the meta of Last Action Hero is kind of fun, but I think the movie's just too long. If
And
there was
boring.
a director's cut, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could cut a bunch of stuff from it to make it less boring.
You could just not make it.
Yeah. And then shout outs to Commando, Eraser. Yeah, man, Eraser. I actually quite like Eraser. I own the soundtrack, Rob.
I know
Are you
you do.
surprised at that?
I know you love Eraser. You're like
yeah, you see. I'm a huge Vanessa Williams fan, and then to have her pop up and be one of the female characters in Eraser. And I remember reading a kung. You remember how they had those martial arts magazine like Kung Fu or whatever?
Yeah.
And they did an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about the kung fu he did in that movie. But if you watch the movie, there's very few kung fu. Did you ever watch the remake of this Eraser? You remember they did a new one?
They did a new one. They released it like this year, I think, or late last. No, you were hyped for it, and then I think you saw the trailer and you're like, I'm out.
I watched the first bit of it, and it is absolutely terrible. Also on his short list was Conan the Barbarian, Kindergarten Cop, and of course Jingle All the Way. My man. What's up? All right.
Wow.
All right. Thanks for the Arnold love, folks.
See, I don't know. Here's the question though. Nerd Emperor,
yeah.
his photo is a guy sitting on a throne. How does he not have Conan the Barbarian first? I mean, that's the.
I think the fantasy genre is not as strong with Arnold. Doesn't come to mind right away.
I think you're right with that. I don't think people think. They probably don't even remember that that's one of his movies, 1980, right? They probably don't even think of it.
Yeah. It might have been a little bit before a lot of people's time, but no one ever pictures Arnold, with the long hair. Do you think it was real hair or was it was clearly a wig, right?
Yeah, I think he had some long hair, but that was a wig. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the look, people don't associate that look with what Arnold looks like. Everyone thinks, the buzz, almost like the white guy flat top. Cut. Not quite the flat top, but the white guy version of the flat top with the buzz cut.
Yeah.
That's high on the top. Yeah. The military cut. Yeah. I would have loved to. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would have loved to be able to put Pumping Iron on there. If you guys haven't seen Pumping Iron, which is
a great documentary.
It's like a mockumentary because it's not like full.
No, it's a full-on documentary.
No, I think they kind of like fudge a lot of stuff in it. And if you ever watch Arnold doing interviews, he said he was playing up his character. Who knows if that was real or not? Maybe he was just really cocky back then. But he's really kind of a dick in the movie, making fun of Lou Ferrigno, kind of doing stuff and very, very cocky when he talks and stuff. It's a really cool look at that bodybuilding world, and it's really well put together. So it's one of my favorites. But we're going to qualify it as a documentary or
I would put Conan the Barbarian up with like modern days what they call sword and sandal movies.
Yeah. What else is in that genre? Like what else is like hot?
Gladiator is like
Gladiator is legit. Troy with Brad Pitt, but I would be. I think only the fight scenes in that movie are good. The rest of the movie is not that great, right?
Clash of the Titans.
With what's his name? Sam Worthington from Terminator Salvation.
Or the original Clash of Titans. Yeah. Well, there's the original one. Then there's the newer ones, right? Clash, and then what was the other one? There's another one, right? Clash of the Kings.
There's a follow up to it, right?
Yeah. And then there's a few of those sword and sandal fantasy movies and stuff like that. But the Jason Momoa Conan is just atrocious.
Yep. One of the few movies that I was willing to walk out on.
Yeah. No. So.
Yeah, Conan versus D&D movie. I feel like that's not that new D&D. If you're talking about the new D&D movie, that's more of a heist movie. That's like an Ocean's 11.
Yeah, I still put Conan on. That's one of those movies where like when I watch it, man, like sometimes I would just skip to certain scenes because the music is just like the score, right? Because it's all score. It's just so haunting and stuff, right? I don't know what it is about Conan the Barbarian, man. Like, a few years ago, what was the name of that statue company, John, that they released two versions of Arnold, and one he was like skin to flesh tone, and the other one he was all white with like the black wrapping on him and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It might have been Sideshow or Iron Studios or along that line.
But it was one of those smaller studios that sold it through Sideshow, like almost like a PCS, but it wasn't PCS. Anyways,
it's probably Iron Studios. Yeah, they did a bunch. NECA's done a bunch of Conan.
It was a phenomenal statue, man. And I was like, oh my god, I wanted it so badly. I just couldn't justify the price for it. But yeah, I mean, I've looked at trying to get a Conan poster for my office here. Like it's in like, you know, it's not my top 10 movies, but like if I had like, you know, a 25 solid movies, 30 solid movies, like that would be in my book for sure.
Yeah, it would represent your fantasy genre stuff very easily. There's nothing I can't think of anything that tops it off the top of my head. They did Call the Conqueror and all the, you know, John Carter of Mars. But yeah, Fraser mentions how jacked Arnold was in Conan. Yeah, this was like straight off his bodybuilding days.
Yeah, 1980.
So I believe,
right, bro?
Yeah, I believe he had to start slimming down after this. Otherwise, he wasn't going to be able to get other roles because he was just simply too big. But like he is humongous in Conan. But a lot of people criticize his look is not quite the same as Conan from the comic. You know, Savage Sword of Conan.
Sure.
Yeah. Like dark hair, kind of different features and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not quite as bodybuilder jacked, but he was muscular. So shout outs to that. Thank you everybody for participating in Arnold. Any other thoughts on Arnold before we wrap that up, Rob?
No, you know what, John? I think we are, you know, like, not that I wish this man to vacate the premises anytime soon, but I think we grew up with this guy, and when the day comes, maybe it's 20 years from now, where, you know, we're no longer graced with his presence as an actor. I think it's going to be a huge. I mean, you look at the breadth of work that he's done, and the decades of work. And the sheer amount of enjoyment. So, you know, I shit on Jingle All the Way or Last Action Hero, but as we saw in these comments, people really love those movies. It's in their top 3 of all of his freaking, like, he's in like 50 something movies or whatever, and that's in their top 3. So I think it's, you know, it's awesome that we were, you know, that I lost my train of thought, but it was just like it's awesome that, you know,
his body of work
miss him.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's just given so much to our youth, adulthood, or whatever, in terms of the movies that he's made. So, you know, he's a definitive. He was like one of the first action stars, right? He was
helped shape the 80s. Yeah. Shaped 80s action movies as we know and love them. So much so that I can't believe they can't duplicate that formula. Very disappointed after seeing Expendables 4. That they couldn't just deliver us a fun 80s style movie. I don't know why it didn't work. But anyways, this whole set of shenanigans was inspired by his new book that is available now, audio, paper, hardcover, Kindle, whatever edition. We do have the link in the description for this live stream. So if you feel like picking up a copy, or maybe before you go shopping on Amazon, click that link and then go buy whatever else you're going to buy from Amazon.
There you go.
Using our affiliate link helps us out. The book is pretty cool. It's more of a self-help book. I'm only a chapter or so in, and he does talk about the whole idea of that he is on his 4th act, kind of reinventing himself as this motivational. Like, imagine if you're working out at the gym and Arnold Schwarzenegger comes up to you and starts going, "Hey, what are your fitness goals?" Or my Arnold Schwarzenegger is bad. Surprisingly enough, I've watched so many of his movies.
Why don't you just do Vin Diesel?
No, that's what you do. You do Vin Diesel, but imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger coming up to you, and I've heard this story. Several other celebrities have said it. Like Zach Braff, I remember mentioned that Arnold went up to him and was like, "What are your fitness goals?" and stuff like that. He is out there trying to just motivate people, which is what primarily this book is about. Imagine if Arnold Schwarzenegger walks up to you and asks what your fitness goals are.
To not like die by barbell dropping on my neck. To not fart like while squatting. I
don't know if that's. First of all, I don't know if it's against the rules. There's no sign by the squat rack that says no farting.
No, that's why I won't do yoga. People are like, "Wow, you're gonna do yoga. Yoga would be great for you. You would find it relaxing. It would help with your mental health and your center." I like, no way. And they go, "Why? Why won't you do yoga?" I'm like, I don't want to be in there, in a room of other people. And they're gonna say, "Okay, you got to turn your body." I'm gonna go, like, it's just and be like, "Oh, if farting happens, it's fine." No, not doing it, man. I'm good to go to a wedding. I'll crop dust and like walk away, and people are like, "What the hell was that?" That's me in the game. I will not fart in a yoga class. I won't take yoga for that reason.
That's Rob's move. The silent but deadly walk away. Shout outs to Nerd who mentions that. Conan, he didn't appreciate it when he was younger, and then later on when he got older, he was like, "Oh, this is fantastic." and he mentions the killer soundtrack. A lot of these Arnold movies have absolutely amazing soundtracks. And while I do own the Eraser soundtrack, it is not among the amazing top 5 list of those songs. But shout outs to Vanessa Williams.
You know what? Before we go, John, I would say if anybody hasn't watched the 3-part, or I think it's 3-part documentary series on Netflix about Arnold, I would totally recommend watching it, man. It is really, really cool. Like, it does give you a different perspective, right? And you know, there might be moments in it where you're like, this guy's a piece of shit. But that's it, you know, you understand he's human, and you know, we've always seen him just through the lens of a movie screen, right? So it is really cool to see a different side. And he talks about a lot of personal stuff that happened as well, right? So yeah.
He even in this new book, he does open up about the flaws of his experience. Whereas the last book, Total Recall, it is in the very, very last chapter where he starts talking about his whole divorce and his son that looks so much like him that he was unable to hide it any further. The son out of wedlock who looks exactly like him, which is you know, a shame for him trying to get around and do something shady. But Rob, okay, thanks everybody for joining us on your Sunday. We are doing something next Sunday. We're doing our Halloween movie. I know we did a whole month of Halloween movies last year, but we ain't got time for that this year. So what movie did we pick for this coming Sunday, Rob?
Oh boy, you know, Michelle was talking about Batman and Robin. The same director directed this one, The Lost Boys. Jason Patric there, front to the left. Kiefer Sutherland, our guy from Bill and Ted's Excellent. Alex Winters is in it. Corey Feldman, Corey Haim as the Frog Brothers. It is, I think it's Jamie Gertz. I think is the lady. So there we are. It is The Lost Boys, and it's currently you can find it streaming. I think it's on Crave if you've got the subscription.
I think Crave, you need this. You need the extension for Crave, I believe, or you can maybe pick up a copy. You know why we're doing this? Because last couple times we've done this, everyone has mentioned this movie. Even when we talk about just 80s movies, horror movies, vampire movies, this movie always comes up. So hopefully you don't mind picking up a copy, renting a copy. You could also use our Amazon affiliate link there. If not, check it out. Michelle, we're gonna find out, Michelle. There's a world of difference between Lost Boys and Batman and Robin. I hope it's leaning towards the other, I guess, the side of good versus bad for you. So hopefully you don't mind watching this one. So thank you everybody for joining us. We will see you again next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please join us on the live show. If you're listening to this back on, podcast, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, whatever. Join us for the live stream. It's a lot of fun. We got a lot of participation tonight. If I could talk. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for giving us your Sunday night. It's been a lot of fun, and we couldn't do it without you. Any parting words, Rob? You gonna fart and run?
I'm gonna crack into these dad's cookies.
Okay, and then after you finish the cookies, you're gonna fart.
And then I'll have to pull my finger and off we go.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you guys.
Peace out.